Hi, and welcome back to MyExcelOnline.com. Today we are going to teach you how to create a human resources dashboard in Microsoft Excel. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel and Office, join our Academy online course and access more than 1,000 video training tutorials so that you can advance your level and get the promotions, pay raises, or new jobs. The link to join our Academy online course is in the description. So on our Human Resources dashboard, we are going to put employees by status. This is full-time, this is part-time. By what region of the world that they're in. How many of our employees are managers. And then we're going to put a few graphs down here. The number of employees by department and also the number that we have in each department by region. So how do we go about creating this? So here's my sample Excel spreadsheet. Let's just say I run a very small company that offers services in different areas of the world. And I would like to see this information in a more user-friendly format on my dashboard. So looking at my data set, I could see a few things that would be good potentials for putting on a dashboard. I can see employee status over here in column G to see how many full-time and part-time employees that I have. I could also look at my region and see how many employees I have in each one of my regions. I can also break things down by department and see how many managers I have. Well, down here, I'm going to add a tab using this plus button. And I'm going to double click here on the name and just type dashboard and hit enter. And then I'm going to click and drag this to the left. Next, I'm going to go up to view and get rid of the grid lines and the headings right here. That way my dashboard looks a little bit less like Excel and more like a professional looking dashboard. Let me show you one more thing. On the view menu, if your ribbon is not going away, it's because it's pinned down here. So if I pin it right now, I can see that's not going to go away. But if I hit the up arrow, I've now gotten rid of the pin. So if I click on data again, you can see the pinning option has come back. So you may want to get rid of the ribbon when you are ready to release your final dashboard. So I'm going to go back to my data tab right here. And I'm going to insert a few pivot tables that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to click on K2 and go up to Insert and go to Pivot Table. I'm going to click the up arrow here and just highlight these columns of my table by clicking and holding my mouse button down and dragging to the right. And then I'm going to click this button again and say OK. So what I would like to do is have the employee status go into my rows. And I'm going to put employee ID over here in the values. But instead of it being a sum of my employee IDs, I'm going to click this down arrow and go to Value Field Settings and change the sum to count and say OK. And then I'm going to close this. And I can see that I have 20 full-time and 6 part-time employees. So now I'm going to go back over here to my dashboard. And let's click right here, and I'm going to go to Insert, Illustrations, and I'm going to go here to Icons. And I'm going to search for time in this box right here. And let's use this icon as full-time and this icon as part-time and say Insert. So I'm going to click and drag this one here, and I'm going to click in this cell, hit equals, go back to data, and select this for my full-time employees and hit enter. And then I'm going to go to the cell next to it, or let's go 2 over, and say equals, go back to my data tab, and click the part-time one and hit enter. Let's highlight these cells right here, and go up to home, and go to center. And let's also make this font a little more interesting. So I'm going to go here, and let's pick this black one here, and just make it a lot bigger. And then I'm just going to move the graphics here and here. And that's the beginning of my dashboard. So if I go back to data, let's change this person to part-time. Right click on my pivot table and hit refresh. And if I go back to my dashboard, I can see that my numbers have changed. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel and Office, join our Academy online course and access more than 1,000 video training tutorials so that you can advance your level and get the promotions, pay raises, or new jobs. The link to join our Academy online course is in the description. Next, let's go to Data, and let's insert another pivot table right here below the first one that we inserted. I'm going to go up to Insert, Pivot Table. Again, I'm going to hit the up arrow, click and drag my whole data set, click this button again, and say OK. And this time, let's drag the region down to the rows, and the same with employee ID. Let's drag this over here and change it from sum to count by clicking on this arrow, going to Value Field Settings, and going to Count, and say OK. And let's close this. So now I can see that I have 5 areas right here. So let's do the same thing with the pictures that we had earlier. I'm going to go back to my dashboard, click here, and go up to Insert. Go back to Illustrations, go back to Icons, and let's type in continents. And we have Asia, Australia, North America, South America, and Africa. And let's hit Insert. And we can distribute these however you would like, and we'll probably end up moving these around a little bit again. So I'm going to click on this cell, go up to Home, and go to the Format Painter. And just click and drag over here so that all these cells end up with the same format. And type equals, go back to Data, and select North America right here, and hit Enter. For Australia, I'll type equals, click Data, click on Australia, and hit Enter. Same for Africa, equals, click Data, select Africa. South America, equals, click Data, go to South America, and finally Asia, equals, click Data, and go back to Asia, and hit Enter. This is lined up pretty well. You can click on here and drag these a little bit more if you want them to be bigger, and center them around the number that you have for the count into whatever way looks best for you. And then maybe we should put some titles up here. So let's highlight these cells right here and go up to Home and Merge and Center. And same over here. Select the cells, go up to Home, and go to Merge and Center. And up here, let's type employees by status. And over here, let's type employees by region. And we can select both these cells by clicking one and holding down Control and then clicking the other. Let's go up to Home. Let's pick that nice font again. And let's make this about 24. And let's make this color a blue this time. And see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Might want to move this down a bit. And what else could we put on our dashboard that would make this really interesting? Well, let's go back to Data. And how about seeing how many people are in each department? So I'm going to click here, go to Insert, Pivot Table, click the up arrow, select this table again, hit this arrow, say OK, and this time we can pick Employee Department, Employee ID, hit the down arrow, go to Value Field Settings, change this to Count, and say OK. Close this window. And this time, let's make a graph out of this instead of using our icons and just putting in the values. So I'm going to select this pivot table, go up to Insert, and select the column chart right here. If I click the down arrow, let's just do a 2D column chart. And say I don't want this blank category on here. How do I get rid of that? If I go to this down arrow right here, I can actually scroll down to the blanks and just uncheck that and say OK. Also, let's give this a new title. I'm going to click on here and then double click inside and just type number of employees by department. And then I'm going to right click and go to cut, click back on my dashboard and right click and go to paste right here. And I can make this a little bit bigger. And there's a few things I could edit. Maybe I don't want a legend on here. I can just select this and hit delete on my keyboard. And I also want to show you that there's a built-in filter here. So if I click on the filter, I can select just the departments that I want to see. And I'm going to say OK there. And you can also edit this graph to have different colors or whatever you would like to see on here. So let's go back to data for one more element of our dashboard. So what else can we do? We can do a count of all of our managers. So I'm going to select this cell underneath my pivot tables, go up to Insert, Pivot Table, select the up arrow, click and drag all the columns of my data, click this again, and say OK. And this time I want Manager to go under Rows, and Employee ID to go back under Values. Select this down arrow, go to Value Field Settings, and change this to Count, and say OK. Close this. If I go back to my dashboard, let's click over here and go to Insert, and go to Illustrations, and go to Icons. And I'm going to type in Manager, and let's just select this icon right here and say Insert. And I'm going to move this over here, click on this cell, type equals, go back to Data, and click where the X's are because the X's are my number of managers, and hit Enter. Again, I can select this cell, go to Home, Format Paint, go here. You can select this cell right here and do Control C, Control V so I get the same format. I would like to type in Managers. I'm going to right click and go to Format Cells, go to Alignment and not merge these cells, and say OK. And then just move my icon a little bit. And I'm going to hit Control X and just paste right here. And let's go back and do one more bonus. Let's do one with two variables. Let's do how many people in each department by region. So I'm going to scroll down here and click this cell below my existing pivot tables. Then I'm going to go to Insert, Pivot Table, hit the up arrow, scroll up, select this whole area, click this button again and say OK. And this time, let's pick a region for the rows and department for the columns. And let's pick the employee ID down here. And instead of sum again, hit the down arrow, go to Value Field Settings, and hit Count, and say OK. And I would like to show you how these fields are displayed on the kind of graph that we are creating right now. And I'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm going to close this. Then I'm going to highlight this new pivot table, go up to Insert, and let's do another bar chart. Let's do another 2D column. And now you can see how many people by location and what departments they're in. And we're going to need to make this graph a little bit bigger. But I just want to show you how this graph is taken from the pivot table. So if I go back and select this cell right here and right click and go to Show Field List, I can see that whatever I put in the rows goes along the x-axis of my graph. And whatever I've put in the columns, if I close this, becomes my legend. So that's just how you can think of your pivot table going into a graph. So I'm going to select the graph, right click, go to Cut, go back to the dashboard, right click right here, and go to Paste. And I'm just going to try to line this up with the other one, make it a little bit bigger. And I don't want to see these blanks. So I can get rid of the blanks in my pivot table like I showed you earlier, or I can select a region, scroll down, and deselect the blank right here and say OK. And that category will go away. Now let's say I would like to have my department legend underneath. If I go up to Design, Add Chart Element, and go to Legend, instead of having this on the right, let's try it on the bottom because it gives a little more room and it's a little more readable. And let's just click over here. And you can see the beginnings of a human resources dashboard. So hopefully this tutorial helps you to get started with how to create a human resources dashboard. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching and see you again next time. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel and Office, join our Academy online course and access more than 1,000 video training tutorials so that you can advance your level and get the promotions, pay raises, or new jobs. The link to join our Academy online course is in the description.
If you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're really serious about advancing your Microsoft Excel skills so you can stand out from the crowd and get the jobs, promotions and pay rises that you deserve, then click up here and join our Academy online course today.